Alright, I was noticing that you are having some trouble getting past the Tower of Power. And remember that our questions are most likely going to be different, but I still wanted to give you some help of how we need to work through these problems. And remember that they build on each other, and even if you get it wrong, it will help you, okay? But the big thing is slowing down and thinking about what they are asking. Let's go ahead and read the first question. It says, Chad's family goes to the movies. The sign below shows information about the cost of movie tickets. Chad's family buys 2 adult tickets and 3 children's tickets. Remember, the purple part is the actual question we're trying to answer, and then it's going to help us get through this. How much does it cost Chad's family to go to the movies? Solve on paper and then check your answer on zearn. And as you can see down here in the corner, I have a piece of paper, and so we're going to use a piece of paper to help us solve this question. It says the movie ticket price is different for adults and children. So the adult tickets are $8. So I'm going to say, I'm going to use the letter A to represent adult tickets are $8. And then, let's see, we have children's tickets. Let's flip this video for you so you can see it the right direction. Okay, and then we have children's tickets, which are $4. So now I need to go back and I need to think about how many tickets did they actually buy. I can't just add these two numbers up because that'd be one adult ticket and 1 child's ticket if I just added them, because that's not what the problem says. The problem says they buy 2 adult tickets and 3 children's tickets. So let's go ahead and solve that. I'm going to zoom in for you. So they bought 2 adult tickets and 3 children's tickets. So let's draw a picture that kind of represents that. We can say this is 2 adult tickets. We'll just say this is adult, and then 3 children's tickets. And I'm going to make them about half the size because 4 is half of 8. And here's the 3 children's. See, I'm using the letter A to represent the different tickets. And then children. I have 2 A's because there was 2 adult tickets and 3 C's because there were 3 children's tickets. Now I just need to fill in the price of each ticket. $8, $8, $4, $4, and $4. Not too bad. Now all I need to do is add them up. That's pretty easy because I know that 8 and 8 is 16, and I know that 3 groups of 4 is 3 times 4, and that's 12. And all I need to do is add 16 and 12 together. 6 ones plus 2 ones is 8 ones. I don't need to carry any 10s. 1 10 plus another 10 is 2 10s. That means the total price probably is $28 altogether. It's probably $28 altogether. Now, we might get this wrong, and if we get it wrong, it's going to help us figure it out. But this seems to me to be a reasonable way to try to solve this. I show each part of the question. Let's take a look at the question again, just to make sure that our thinking makes sense. The sign shows the information about the cost of movie tickets. They buy 2 adult tickets, and that's how I represented the adult tickets with 2 boxes labeled A that had 8 inside because each ticket was $8, and 3 children's tickets. I represented that part of the problem by showing 3 smaller boxes labeled C for children and putting a 4 in there because the sign says child is $4. If I add all of those ticket prices together, we ended up with 28. And hold on, I gotta get my keyboard out again. So I'm going to type in 28 and see if we got it. That's all. Now, we're going to keep on going because it's probably going to make it a little more challenging as we go. Chad's father pays the tickets with $5 bills. So remember, the cost of the whole thing was $28. So we're going to keep going on this problem. He receives $2 in change. How many $5 bills does Chad's father use to pay for the tickets? Solve on paper, then check your answer on zearn. So let's keep going. I'm going to pull this up here. I'm going to show you here. He uses $5 tickets. I'm going to write down that note. Uses $5 bills. And gets $2 back. Well, that's nice that they said $5 bills, because fives are really easy to count up by. And I'm thinking, I know that there is a 5 that is just past 28. But let's go ahead and check it out. We're going to count 5s until we get past 28 and then see if we get $2 back, okay? Because this is a method that we can use. Let's make this big. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to just draw a box that represents all the $5 bills that the dad uses to pay. So he uses one $5 bill. That's not enough to pay the $28 for the tickets. Two $5 bills. This altogether is now $10, and that's still not enough. So he uses another $5 bill. That's $15. Is that enough? Still not enough. Counting to me. $20? Still not enough. So let's keep going until we get either to 28 or past 28. Because anything less he can't pay. He can't pay with $25. He can't pay with $20. He has to pay more, 28 or more. 5. Oh, I feel like we're getting really close. 25 is really close to 28, but it's not quite enough. They won't let him have that last ticket. Let's see. And another $5. And that is now 30. If he uses 6 $5 bills, he'll pay $30. Now we have to do that last part and see, does he get $2 back? Because if he doesn't get $2 back, we did something wrong and we need to go back and fix it. So let's check it out. So I'm going to take $30, because this is the amount that he paid. And I'm going to take away the cost of the tickets and see if he gets $2 and change. I see I have 0 in the ones place. I'm going to borrow from the tens place. Oops, that's 1. He has 2 tens left, and I'm going to give it to this one. So he has 10 ones now, and he's taking away 8 ones. That's 2 ones left over. He has 2 tens, and he's going to subtract 2 tens. There's none. So he does end up with $2 change, which means that he does use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 $5 bills to pay for his tickets. Let's go ahead and check it out. Uses 6 $5 bills to pay for the movie tickets. Let's see if that's right. We got it. And he wants us to keep going. I wonder if it's going to be the same question made more difficult or if it will be a new question. Ah, it looks like a different kind of question, which means I'm going to get another piece of paper. Well, my pieces of paper are scratch paper. Tina is doing all of her homework. She spends 8 minutes doing her spelling homework. She then completes each problem in 8 minutes. There are 9 math problems. How many minutes does Tina spend on her homework in all? Well, this is not too hard. All we have to do is slow down and think about it. She spends 8 minutes doing her spelling homework. So I'm going to say spelling is 8 minutes. She then completes each math problem in 8 minutes. So each math in, they said 8 minutes? 8 minutes. But that doesn't tell us how many math problems there are. It's not until the very next sentence where it says, there are 9 math problems. So I'm going to have to say each, there's 9 problems. How many minutes does she spend on homework in all? So we can't just add all these up because this is not even the same units, 8 minutes and 8 minutes and 9 problems. You can't just add all those numbers up and hope you get the right answer. You have to stop and draw. I'm going to draw a tape diagram that's going to represent the total number of minutes that Tina spends doing her homework. First, I'm going to start with this part where it says the spelling took her 8 minutes. It tells us so this tape diagram is going to represent the total minutes she spent doing her homework, okay? So spelling, I'm going to represent with an S, and I'm going to put an 8 in that box because that is 8 minutes she spent doing this part of her homework. Next, she spends another 8 minutes on each of the 9 math problems. So which number are we putting in the box? Well, we said that this tape diagram is going to represent the total minutes. So we need to put 8 minutes for each problem. So let's say this is math problem 1. That's 8 minutes. Is she done with her homework? No, because there is 9 problems altogether. So I'm going to put another 8 and label this math problem 2. Another 8, label this math problem 3. And keep going until I reach 9 problems. This is why labeling is so important. It helps us keep track of what we're doing. You might also be thinking that really is starting to look like a multiplication problem. I know it looks like one to me because I am seeing equal groups. Remember, if our groups, let's make this big for you. If the groups are equal, are all the same size, that's a multiplication problem. I see repeated addition. If we want to know the total time, we have to add all these 8 minutes together. But that would take a long time, 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. There's actually an easier way. Rather than add all these 8s together, we could skip count. We can go 8, 16, 24. But not all of us remembered how to skip count by 8s that easily. But I know something that we did learn that's pretty easy, which was to memorize most of our facts. And many of us were able to remember at least some of them. I'm looking at this and I see how many equal groups of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 groups with the size of 8. We know how to do multiplication by tens, and even if we're having a hard time, we know we could skip count by tens 8 times very easily to get the answer. 10 times 8 is 80. That means this total number of minutes here, all these 8s together, was 80 minutes. That's that's a lot of homework. So let's go ahead and write that. Tina spent 80 minutes doing homework. Let's go ahead and check it out. See if we got that right. So remember, let's go ahead. So I want you to go ahead and remember that when we're doing these math problems, it's not about following a sequence of steps when it comes to word problems. It's about thinking about what are they asking and trying to represent it with a picture or an equation. Most of the time in third grade, it's not going to be just adding up the numbers. In this case, we could have solved this a lot of ways. We could have added all of the 8s. We could have multiplied 9 times 8 and then added that last 8. We could have broken it up into different groups to solve it. It's about making sense and understanding what the problem is asking. The only way to do that is to stop, and I like to think about each sentence and what it's trying to get me to do, and then thinking about the answer at the end. What am I trying to solve? Then I take each part of those, all the information from that, and then draw a picture for each part with a good reason that I am drawing it. Because if I had drawn 8 boxes with 9 in them, that wouldn't have made sense, because 9 wasn't the number of minutes, and that's not what we're trying to solve for. 9 was the number of groups, or the number of problems. So now when you go to do your zearn lesson, I want you to use these strategies. Stop, think, draw, write. Have a good reason that you're doing each of these steps. I hope that this was helpful.